All right, welcome back to AT6. I'm Kill2. With me is Ravy, and we have what looks like it's going to be a fantastic match in front of us. Agony Empire versus Dark Taboo. We're going to see Dark Taboo give Talos and Brutix a try, which we saw yesterday from Shadow Cartel. That was amazing, although this one is a little bit different. Tell us how it's different.
Well, I assume that these Taloses are armor tanked. We haven't seen any armor hardeners from them, but they are running ECCM and tracking computers. So that's going to use up their mids. If they do have any tank, it's going to be in the armor. We see a setup very similar to the Shadow Cartel one from Dark Taboo, and one very similar to Test and PL's setups, actually a bit closer to PL's version from Agony Empire. Got 2 Vindicators and 4 Taloses all sitting right on top of each other in the middle of the arena. There's going to be a massive amount of damage very fast in this fight, and we're 10 seconds away from beginning now. Both teams have warped in their damage ships right in at 0, and then their frigates and logistics out of range.
And match is on now. I'm just going to wait and see what takes damage, because hopefully this all takes place very quickly. Interesting about the Proteus warped to range. We thought it was going to be a Link Proteus, but it looks like it's a Blaster Proteus, but it warped back where the logistics is, so he's not right on top of the Vindicators with everything else. So a Talos in armor going down pretty quick under those Vindies, and if those Vindies are armor tank, which of course they are, it's not looking good so far.
What
not
we're
as fast
seeing
as those
is
Paladins went down yesterday.
The advantage of having all of these assault frigs tracking disruptors on all the remaining Taloses. That is going to hurt the Taloses much more than it hurts the Vindies, because the Taloses aren't going to have the same web bonus. So it's going to make it a lot harder for them to hit the assault frigates, and they're going to drop very quickly as we see them, basically 2 Taloses being shot at the same time from these Vindicators from Agony.
Yeah, in a match like this, they can basically say, you know, shoot the thing that you're going to have the easiest time applying damage to, and they don't have to worry about primaries almost. It's like if you have a Talos closer to you than the one that we call, go ahead and shoot it and kill it. Another second Talos just went down.
And a third one about to go.
A Vindicator could go, but keep in mind they've just lost like half their DPS, total DPS in losing those 3 Taloses, so the Oneros might actually be able to get control.
Considering that the Oneros is still there, he's got some damps on him, but it looks like there are reps currently being applied to both of the 2 ships taking armor damage for Agony. I think that Vindicator is going to survive, and this is going to be a pretty strong win for Agony. This Vindicator Assault Frig setup, an excellent setup. I've always been a fan of it for this tournament. The main reason, actually, even more so than the Vindicators, is these Assault Frigs. They're great ships as we see another Talos explode. The Assault Frigs can apply a lot of damage very quickly anywhere. They're very hard to kill, they can tackle, and they've got mid-slots available, especially the Ishkars, for E-War, as we're seeing those tracking disruptors.
Whole lot of interesting choices here by both teams. Agony covering a lot of their bases. One of the Vindicators, at least, is running a Smart Bomb. That made me think about drones. Dark Taboo choosing all damage drones for their Taloses and their Brutixes. That sort of surprises me. I know that ECM drones can be a really good option when you only have the light set anyway.
I guess in this case they wanted to go all in for damage,
yeah.
But having ECM drones to put on the logistics actually would give you more effective damage over the course of the match than using damage drones. As long as you have a team that's pretty good at killing frigates, which they do have with those Ishkars, you can get away with not using damage drones, go ECM drones, stick them on the logistics, and then a jam here or there would have let them push through and take down the Vindicator.
Yep. So ships going down fast still. Dark Taboo losing Brutix and an Ishkar right now, leaving them with basically a Proteus and 2 Ishkars. Still curious about why that Proteus that looked like it was going to be a ship that wanted to be close was warped far away and is currently still far away. And actually, he is trying to kill, he's like shooting an Ishkar off in the distance. I wonder what his kind of purpose was in this setup, rather than going with the full Brutix Talos setup like Shadow Cartel did.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. We may have to wait and see some of these kill mails to see exactly how he was fit. But it's possible that his job was to, actually, I don't even know.
I mean, they could have been thinking, yeah, I keep wanting to say he could have been back to protect logistics, but they don't have logistics. Yeah. I don't know why I was saying that.
I was about to say that too.
Oh my gosh.
I started the sentence.
Well, I was trying, it was like, in my mind, I was thinking the only way he'd be back with support is if his job was to protect support, or to provide links. It's still, no, but he doesn't have the link thing, right?
He doesn't have the link
subsystem. So.
He doesn't have the scramble subsystem. He's using the dissolution sequencer. Like, this is a standard blaster fit Proteus.
Yeah. It could be a mistake. Maybe he warped to 50 on accident.
It's possible.
And then decided to shoot an Ishkar because he was out there anyway. I don't know.
Maybe he just got nervous. He saw the Vindicators. When he warped into 50, saw the Vindicators, like, you know what?
I'm not going to go down there.
I'm being ordered by my FC to go in there, but I'm just running away instead.
Well, that didn't work out. He's dying now. He's about to go into structure, and he is, like, yeah, looks pretty standard. I mean, he's shooting blasters, he's armor tanked, just like everything else on their setup. He's down now, just one Ishkar to go.
And that Ishkar is tackled, he's got a weapon to scram on him, so it's just going to be a matter of time to finish him off.
A really important thing about setups like this one in the Shadow Cartel setup is the matchup is so important. Like, if you pair just wrong, pairing against a big set of tracking disruptors like this just squashes the plan so badly, which is,
Yep.
I guess, true of a lot of setups. But
it really is an all-or-nothing team. One of the great things about the Vindicators is that they're a lot more resistant to tracking disruptors because they've got those webs, especially in pairs. You throw 290% webs on someone and they stop, and then at that point you can hit them fairly effectively. But the Talus is a lot more vulnerable to it. We were talking before the match, and you mentioned that you really thought that the Talus should have warped into range, and I agree. That's something that would have been a very good call. Being with a ship that fast and with that kind of range, with null, you can get out to range, maybe snipe at some frigates as they burn into you, spread out. You have the ability to see what you're up against and decide your course of action from there. At 0, they had nothing they could do. They got webbed, they got held down by the Vindicators, and they just all died.
Yeah, with the Vindies, you need to warp to 0 sometimes because you don't have as much ability to catch up to stuff. So starting 50k instead of 100k is a really big deal. But the Taluses are really fast. They go, 1,500 meters a second probably, and they do really good damage over a long range, longer than the Vindies do usually if they're shield fit because of tracking enhancers. But anyway, that was the last Ishkur. A strong win for Agony Empire, and so Talus is now 1-1, I guess.
But Vindicators continuing a very strong. They're not perfect, but very, very strong in this tournament. And we'll pass you back to Soundwave in studio.